Good morning. Out here in the yard, little house. I paid $135,000 for this little house. It's got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a mountain view. I don't know if you can see the mountains down there. Well, I'm not going to keep be on here long this morning, but yesterday I got a Facebook message from one of my good girlfriends from high school that my first love passed away. He was my first boyfriend. And it's funny, you know how you're in high school, but you just talking on the phone. So he was like my high school crush. But I used to go over my girlfriend's house on the weekends. And I must have been about 15. So if I was 15, he was 17. Because it said that he was 57 when he passed. I'm 55. And Joseph Huggerett. I don't know if you can see the mountains down there. But it's mountains over here too. I don't know if you can see the mountains over there. Mountains behind me. So this video is for Joseph Huckabee. I'm out in the middle of Arizona. There go the sheriff riding by. They don't play. They sheriff will ride by. And he was my first boyfriend on the phone. Back then you had the phone and it was connected to the wall. And we would sit on the phone and talk all night. All night. And it's funny because he seen me and he asked my friend, sister, for my phone number. She said, Joe like you. I remember that. Joe like you. Joe like you. Joe Huckabee. And I was so goofy. I didn't know nothing about that. But it's funny, long story short, he's one of the reasons why when my kids graduate from high school, I moved them. I encouraged them all to move away. So anyway, we grew up. He went to Suitland. I went to Central. He graduated, and after he graduated from high school, he got locked up and went to jail. All I don't know. I guess he never did drugs around me or sold drugs around me, but I guess he hung around drug dealers or he was into drugs, selling them, and he got locked up right after high school. So locked up right after high school. So when he graduated from high school, he moved to Atlanta. So you know how later on in life you grow up and you be like, well, where's Joe? Or where's such and such? And I remember my girlfriend said he moved to Atlanta. She heard he moved to Atlanta because me and her always keep in touch. And I think me and Carl been friends since like the 6th grade. So um, she said he moved to Atlanta, but some kind of way, that's when around the time Facebook came out, me and him was able to connect on Facebook. So my daughter graduated from college in 2017, and matter of fact, that's around the time my divorce was final, 2017. And look at the mountains behind me. See the mountain behind me? My daughter graduated from college around 2017. So I found out he lived in Atlanta. So and it's so funny because I just posted the picture of Little Wayne and my son. So that weekend we drove to Tennessee to my daughter's college graduation. So I reached out to Joe. I said, look, I'm heading that way. Um, Maybe we can go to lunch or something like that. But so funny because he was like, oh, he didn't want to go to lunch or whatever, but he did said I could come over his house and he would barbecue. He liked the barbecue, like lots of barbecue and meat and stuff like that. And anyway, so we got to Atlanta, spend the night, and then we was gonna get up and go to Tennessee the next morning, leave for Tennessee. And so anyway, got my family all situated and went to meet him at his house, and he barbecued and had beer, and I mean we was literally drinking out of the can of beer. He offered me beer, and we just sat. We talked all night long, just like we did when we was little kids. Not kids, but teenagers. And I remember him telling me about how I asked him, and anything and I guess that's true love, because anything I asked him, he would answer me, and he would tell me. He would spit what they said, spit wisdom, spit truth. And but the funny thing, where he lived at wasn't the most. It wasn't like fancy or nothing like that. It looked like a bachelor's pad. It looked like a bachelor's pad. And um, and that's funny because sometimes, be honest, we judge people by where they live or what they drive. He drove a pickup truck. He drove a pickup truck. And you want to base success on what people have. But he didn't have much, but he was a genuine person. Just straightforward, tell you like it is. No BS, no beating around the bush. Even though sometimes that could be hard, but it was true. And he was true. So Joseph, I know I love you, and I know you loved me too, and I know you're going on to a better place. But I'm making this video to thank you for being a true friend. Anyway, so one of the reasons why I moved my kids to after they graduated from high school is because he said, oh, that's right. So back after high school, he got locked up, went to jail. And he said he went to jail for 2 or 3 years. And after he got out of jail, the day he got out of jail, he said his mom was waiting in a car with all his stuff. Good morning, Eon. Thank you for watching. He said his mom was waiting in the car with all his stuff. And he told him he had to get up out of D.C., that she was driving him to Atlanta, Georgia, to his dad. And he said, Camille, that's the best thing my mom did. He said, my mom saved my life. He said, because all my friends are dead. Either they're dead or they're in jail. And he said, it's just a few of us left. And he said he thanked his mom for saving his life. And that reminded me when my kids graduated from high school. If they wanted to go. I encouraged them to move on, which right now my son, he bought a house in Michigan. My little daughter lives in Spain. Shonda Joy's about to buy a house in St. Louis. And Mona is out here with me in Phoenix. So none of them stayed in the little town. They all got away. They all got away. And not only that, you get away to see different ways of life. But anyway, so while he was in jail, he took up HVAC. That's where you install air conditioners. Look at that. That's where you install air conditioners and replace like that, AC vents and stuff like that. Because in Atlanta it's hot, so they have to keep AC. And I remember him telling me that he was a management over apartment building, so he kept a job because if the air conditioner went down, he was the one they called. He was over in charge of the guys getting everybody together to make sure to keep the air AC up and running. So this video is dedicated to Joseph Hugabrook. And like I said, even though in my mind, he was one of those guys that in your mind you can imagine marrying and running off into the sunset. But he was like real rough. He was rough. But I still liked him. I liked him. I liked Joe. But anyway, I ended up getting married. Because he was in jail. And like I said, later on, we did reconnect. And I did see him back in 2017. Like I said, when my daughter graduated from college. And we was able to sit and eat barbecue. I didn't eat that much, but I did drink the beer. And talked all night long. He had like a patio. We talked. And he shared a lot of good stories with me. And we talked just like we did when we was teenagers. Just talk. And if you can meet somebody that might not have a fancy car, might not have a fancy house, but somebody just to talk to. So these men, even though they don't have a fancy car or they don't have a fancy place, some of them might still be living home with their mom. But if they just a good person to talk to, them are some good guys. So don't always judge people. I'm learning not to always judge people on what they have, but by are they just a genuine person? Hey, Marlena, hello. Yeah, are they just a good person at heart? And Joe was a good person. Joe was a good person. Joe was a good person. And just easy to talk to. And some of the stuff you wouldn't want, he would tell you so straight, sometimes you wouldn't want to hear. But Joe was a good person, and now I'm understanding to judge people by their character, not by their stuff. Because because a lot of these successful men, most of their stuff they got with, once they got with their wife. Or, you hear behind every good man is a good woman. Yeah. All right, well, let me get on in here. Today is Wednesday, September I want to say the 16th. September the 16th. This is Miss Camille, Life Lessons. And rest in peace to my friend Joseph Hugabrook. Joseph Hugabrook. Joseph Hugabrook. Yeah. Can you see the mountains? See the mountains right there? Those are mountains. And if you stand here, you can see the mountains right there. I'm in the middle, literally in the middle of the valley. I'm in the middle of the valley. And lots of birds, quiet mornings. Wake up, it's quiet. People just riding by to see the man. You have the only thing about here is no public trash. So you see the trash, he's taking his trash down to the dump. I think it costs $5. $5 a truckload to bring your trash to the dump. But also, it's a mountain behind in my yard too. I don't know if you can see that mountain. See that mountain right there? See? See the mountain? It's the mountain. So on my back porch, I can see the mountain from there too. Yeah. But yeah, rest in peace, Joseph. And he was my first boyfriend, my phone boyfriend. Because back then, even if you didn't meet, you talked on the phone, talked on the phone, talked on the phone. But he was kind of like a gangster. So I never really hung out with him. But we talked on the, we would talk on the phone. Talk. And like I said, I did get to see him again in 2017 as an adult. And I was heading to Atlanta to my daughter's graduation in Tennessee, and we stopped in Atlanta. So, um, we I went, I met him, and he fixed barbecue, and we drank a beer out of the can. Matter of fact, we drank. Here, take this beer. You hear the deep boy? Hey, take this beer, deep boy. And I took the beer and I drank it, and it's funny, but good friend, 57 years old. And funny, so that night when I hung out with him that night, and then the next morning I got up and I went to the Lenox Mall, right? And he said Little Wayne was gonna be there. So I told my kids, we might as well stay here. Little Wayne gonna be here. So we gonna stay and see Little Wayne, then we're gonna head to Tennessee. And that's how we seen Little Wayne. Cause he was having he had this trunk fit brand. And my kid's not even in the roller skate, but it was for like roller skating. I think Little Wayne like in the roller skating or whatever. It's called trunk fit brand. And he had a meet and greet. And all you had to do was buy a t-shirt and book bag. And that's what I did. But yeah. All right. I'm getting off here. I just want to make a quick video about true love and true friends. And if you meet a guy, even though he don't have all the stuff you want, you and him can always build together. But if you have a good conversation, he has a good heart and genuine, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. All the rest of the stuff is replaceable. But people aren't. All right. Remember, people aren't replaceable. Same thing with the young men. If you meet a nice girl, she might not be the cutest thing, but she got a head on her shoulders, smart, wise, and got to, come from a good background, not crazy. Then that's the people that you connect with. That people you could find that you could build with. Because you can't build with everybody. But if you find true people, true, genuine people that you can build with, that's your person. And life is so short, so don't let your person get away if you meet somebody that is genuine. All right, I'm getting in here and drinking some coffee. I love you, and make sure you love you. In my little house. I love my little house. In the middle of nowhere. And it's so funny because when I was buying my house, the realtor kept showing me all these new builds. But I love it out here because all the cactus, look at all the cactus and palm trees. All that's not is not replaceable. Look at all the palm trees and mountain views everywhere. I don't know if you can see up the street. Mountain, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of the, but mountain views everywhere. So some things aren't replaceable, like the mountain views. They're not replaceable. But it would be fun to have a new build with all the fancy, but no, I didn't want no HOA fees. So yeah, I don't have fancy, but I have everything I need. Got all my little cactus that I planted, and I have me. So love you, take care of you. And if you meet somebody along the way, they don't look the hottest, which Joe was hot. He was short, muscular, and he wasn't tall like or nothing. He was short, but he was very handsome because he was strong and muscular. But like I said, and he'd been to jail, but all that didn't matter. He still was a good person. So if you meet somebody that's genuine, you can hold a good conversation with and talk to, that's your person. All right, talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Mommy, I don't mean no harm, but I gotta close these doors. It's starting to get hot. It's hot. Are you done with the pancake?
Yeah.
Okay. You gonna be mad at me. It's getting hot, baby. I gotta turn the air conditioner on.
Okay. I'm doing